Okay, we need to make a grid that will match the grid on the silhouette that I sent you from the photos that you sent me. The grid will have 6 squares going across and 9 squares going up. This grid is darker than you need to have than yours. Yours has to be lighter than this or you will not be able to erase the lines very well. I just made this one darker so that you could see it on the camera. So the first thing you're going to need is your 12 by 18 inch paper, and then you're going to need a 2-inch wide straight edge that was included with the paper that you got at school. It's just chipboard, which is like cardboard that's a little thicker than it's thicker than a cereal box, but it's not corrugated cardboard like this, where it's got the ridges inside. That's corrugated cardboard. So this is made out of chipboard, and in the packet you got from school you had 2 big chipboards, and then you had the narrow piece that was 2 inches wide. And I'm going to line this straight edge, which is 2 inches wide, along one side of the white paper so that the edge of the white paper is even and parallel and just barely peeking out on the side here, just so I know that it's lined up correctly. Then I need a sharp pencil. And you have a pencil sharpener and pencils in the packet. So just evenly lined up here with the paper just barely peeking out with one hand that you're not drawing with, firmly pressing in the middle, and you're going to spread your fingers out so that you're putting pressure on this side and this side. If you have a lot of pressure but on a narrow point, it's too easy to shift it around. But you need to spread those fingers apart and firmly press down. And now it's not as easy to move that because I've spread out the pressure points. Then with the hand that you're drawing with, you will need to hold the pencil lightly. Hold it by the end. Just set the pencil down. Don't press down, just let gravity set that down. I'm going to hold one end, and I'm not going to press very hard. I'm just letting gravity hold down the pencil, and I use my whole arm to just pull. You'll notice I don't use my wrist. So then I'm going to slide my straight edge, and you can't really see my line. If you could, you would see me line it up right along the line that I just drew. I'm going to go ahead and draw my line dark, just so you can see me how I line up the next line. Okay, so now your line will be lighter. You line up the left edge of your 2-inch straight edge all along the, not with a big gap, don't cover it up, just so you can barely see it peeking out. Lightly hold the pencil, set it down, do not press hard. Just drag it across the page like you're dragging it across a baby's face. I'm no baby, but you know, so that it wouldn't hurt somebody's face. I hope I don't have a pencil mark. Oh dear. So now line up against the next line. And you want to just have this just barely dark enough so you can just barely see it so you can erase it. I'm going to go ahead and make mine darker just so you can see it on camera. You want to make it so you can just barely see it. Every time I'm lining up the edge of the straight edge with the pencil mark that I had just made. And I'm right-handed, so I line it up with the left edge. Some mistakes I see people do. So I'm going to line it up with the edge of the paper again. You notice I turn my paper 90 degrees. Line it up with, I recommend if you're right-handed that you line it up with the left side. If you're left-handed, sorry, I'm so right-handed, it's hard. If you're left-handed, you want to line it up with the right side of the paper, hold with your right hand, and drag with your left. But I'm right-handed, so I'm going to line it up with the left side of the paper so that the paper is evenly lined up and just barely peeking out. Firmly holding with my left hand, lightly holding the pencil, and just drag it across. So you just barely see it. And you won't see the pencil line until you move the straight edge. So a lot of times people make the mistake of they draw their line nice and light like they're supposed to, and then they panic because they can't see it, and they make a darker one so they can see it before they lift it up, and that's way too dark because you're going to have to erase this, and you don't want to have any ghost images of a grid. So you line it up, the left side with the previous pencil mark, and on the right side you want to pull. I'm going to show you a couple mistakes that I've seen people do. They do it cross-handed. They'll start, if they're right-handed, they will put it over on the right side of the paper and try to cross over, which just is kind of cluttered because you can't see what's underneath your wrist here. Or they try to go like this and twist, and it's just like, you know what? Go from left to right if you're right-handed, so that your left hand is out of the way of your right hand, has all this room, but spread your fingers out, lots of pressure, lightly pull so that you barely see the line. And you just want to just barely see it because you're going to be erasing it later. And again, when I am done, I will have 6 by 9. And I need you to photograph it so I can see it. And you can do an up close so that I know it's there, and then you can do a far apart one too so that I can appreciate how light it is. Okay, so you'll send that to me so that I will send you your silhouette back. Remember, you need to send me the photos for your narrative story.